So that being said, a realtor or a real estate broker does everything they're supposed to do. They follow all the rules. They're educated. How could they still end up in court? Let's go over some examples of typical situations where an agent or broker could end up in court whether they like it or not.
Okay. I would say there's probably two scenarios that you can see that happening. The first scenario would be one where the broker by herself winds up buying property, and let's say it's a scenario where the broker has an exclusive listing on a property, or has an exclusive arrangement with you, for example, and I'm the broker and I'm going to take you out and show you properties, and you decide not to buy a particular piece of property because you can't afford it. Let's put the economics in the center.
So you showed it to me. I said, It's not for me. I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, you've inherited some money. You're looking to buy some commercial property for investment. You want to build it out, rent it out, whatever. But you don't have the amount. You've got $200,000, and the seller wants $500,000, $750,000. You can't even come close, and you're not going to leverage any money. You're not going to get a loan for it. So you're not even economically in the market.
And if I make an offer for $200,000, it's going to be ignored anyway, right?
Absolutely, outright rejected. So then I turn around as the broker and I say, I think I could flip this property. So I say to you, you can't touch this property, but would you mind, now that we've seen it, would you mind, since we've concluded our relationship, if I go ahead and I put an offer in on it, and you say no? Go ahead, Dave.
In my position, I had no reason to think there's anything wrong with that.
Sure, go ahead, Dave. And I put an offer on it, I contract it, and then I turn around and I sell it to someone else, and I make a profit on it. Then you say, hey, you made a profit, and that's not fair. I should have that profit. And now
somebody else made money.
That right there. So have I done anything wrong? No, probably not. Our relationship was concluded. I have every right. I have your approval and your blessing to put the contract on the property. But you just don't like the fact afterwards that I somehow managed to flip the property and make money on it, and I didn't guide you or tell you should have taken out a loan or liquidated your 401k and offered more and flipped it and everything. You feel like you were cheated.
So yeah, in my mind, I guess I'm thinking, and probably incorrectly, boy, I could have done that. Or David could have shown me how to do that. He knew all along. He thought it was a good deal, and he kept it for himself. Ignoring the conversation we just had. I'm not interested. Go ahead, David.
I'm bad like that, Danny. I'll do that to you.
Right. Well, also you say you bought the property for a lot more money that I wasn't in a position to do.
Right.
So I can still sue you.
Yeah. And now, will you win on that lawsuit? We don't know. More than likely not. A case that I've done that was similar to that, no. The person who sued the broker or their former broker did not win, but every case is different. You can't parallel them because all the facts are different.
Well, how did you protect yourself in the case?
I wasn't the broker.
No, how did the broker protect themselves? What's the important thing to...
Documentation, Danny.
Gotcha.
Documentation is the absolute key, and back then, it wasn't as easy as it is now with electronic mechanisms. Right. Back then, it was, well, here's my notes that I made. So now you're presenting it to you, the members of the jury, and saying, do you believe this? Did the broker really make the notes back then, or did the broker make the notes after when he or she was sued? And how can you validate this stuff? How can you sort of cross-connect it to something else and show when it was made? Now, in the more quote-unquote modern era that we're in, we look at a timestamp on an email,
right.
You look at an entry on an electronic calendar on your phone and say, here's when this occurs, here's when that occurred. And what I would simply do is after I spoke to you about the deal, I would email you and say, Danny, this just recaps our conversation. I really appreciated your business. I wish you the best, and I'm very happy that you don't have any difficulty with me putting an offer on that property. If you have other needs in the future for real estate, come talk to me. And you email back saying, Dave, good luck, I wish you the best, and I hope you find a buyer for that property. What do you think a jury is going to do looking at that blown up to be 4 feet by 3 feet in front of their face, and you saying, well, I never said that? There it is in black and white.
So your advice would be to make sure you're thinking along the way in the transaction process to keep everything documented, because you may not imagine it, but you might need it later.
Right. It might not be that easy to do initially, but once you get into a rhythm, once you as a broker or as an agent create a standard operating procedure to say, this is how I do things. When I go out, I send out an email, meet you at this location. I go out and I take a picture of you as a prospective buyer in the property and say, here's how
Right.
you're going to look in your new home. I'm emailing it to you so you can see how you're going to look in the property, but at the same time, I'm creating a record of you being there. So later when you say, no, the broker never took me or the agent never took me to see that property, there it is.
So you never really know what's going to turn up as evidence.